Hey, it's starting out with D-Grill. Got myself a couple more of those boneless pork shoulder butts. And this time, it's about 16 pounds, a little over 16 pounds here. So about 8 pounds a piece. And instead of doing them the way I did them last time, this time I want to try and use something directly from the Green Mountain Grill's manual and cookbook. There's this recipe I've been wanting to try because it's a little non-conventional on how it does some things. It's Steve's own Pellet Smoked pulled pork. And the way it does some things is, like I said, not the conventional route, but they assure that this is a great recipe. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting these pork shoulder butts set up the way that they should be according to this recipe. And this is the night before. These have to be prepped the night before using this recipe. And then tomorrow I'll be smoking them starting early in the morning, Lord willing, on that Green Mountain Grill's Daniel Boone Pellet Smoker. So I'll bring you back to start prepping these pork butts. Alright, so I've gotten those pork butts out of the cryo bag, dried them off real good, and then the next step, and this is where it starts out getting unconventional to how I've usually done pork butts, you trim most of the fat off the pork butts. So I'm going to basically trim all the fat off of them, and then you basically rub your seasoning into every nook and cranny. Of course, since it's the Green Mountain Grill's recipe, they recommend their rub, but I'm going to be using my usual Twisted Q Crooked Pig seasoning. I will point out nothing in this video is sponsored at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim this. Okay, so I've removed most of the fat from the pork butt. So this is the fat cap side. I've trimmed most of the fat cap down. So now on this next step here is where I put the pork seasoning into every nook and cranny of these pork butts. So I'm basically just going to do that. Alright, so I've got those pork butts totally drowned and covered in pork rub seasoning. And so the next step here is to cover these and let them sit in the fridge overnight, which I'm going to do. And I will just point out that although this is a Green Mountain Grill's recipe from their recipe book, you can probably use this with Traeger, Rectech, Gorilla Grills, any other type of pellet smoker you wish. So going to get these into the fridge for the night, cover them, get them into the fridge, and then I'll bring you back tomorrow morning when I start to get them onto the grill. Alright, so it's the next day. Those pork butts have been setting out to come up to room temp, so they've been setting out an hour by the time they get on the grill. That's was the next step in the recipe, to let them set out for an hour. So going to go get the grill started up now, and so we're going to go out to the grill. Alright, so we're out here at the grill. I've basically got things all set up. Today I'm going to be using the Green Mountain Grill Premium Goldwyn pellets. So these pellets are a mixture of red oak, hickory, and maple. So that should give the pork a nice flavor. And as you can see, I got those new Green Mountain Grill liners that I was finally able to get down there in stock. So got those down in there. Well, got one of those down in there to help make the cleanup easier. So I'm just going to go ahead and get the grill started up here so it can start warming up. So in the app, I'm going to connect to the grill. And once it gets a connection going, it's searching for the grill, and now it's connected. Now I'm going to power up the grill and confirm it. So now the grill is going to start going through its warm-up sequence. I want a temperature to start of 380, so I'm just going to put in 380, confirm, and so it'll start heating up to 380. Once it's up to 380, bring the pork butts out and put those on. I'm just going to show you the profile that I'm using for this. Basically at 380, I'm going to cook it for 30 minutes fat side down, then flip it, and it's going to be fat side up for 30 minutes. After that, I'm going to cover it with foil, turn the temperature down to 235 degrees. Once the temperature stabilizes at 235 degrees, I'll remove the foil, and it'll go like that for 6 hours. After that 6 hours, then I'm going to spritz it. You can use the recipe mentions a mixture of apple juice and Worcestershire sauce to taste. I'm just going to do just straight apple juice without the Worcestershire. That's my taste. So going to cook it after I spritz it with the apple juice at 235 until the temp reaches 195. It's also going to be wrapped after that spritzing, so it's spritzed, wrapped, and cooked to 195. After that, it just sets for an hour, not in a cooler. It just sets to rest for an hour, and then it'll be all done. So I'll start that profile after we put the pork butts on, and bring you back when the pork butts are going on. Alright, the grill has reached our target temperature of 380 degrees, so putting the pork butts on. On fat side down to start. Alright, so they're both on there now. So I'm going to get my gloves off and start the profile. Alright, so pork butts are in nice and tight. So I'm going to go ahead and start my profile here. So I do a select grill profile. I select the Steve's Own Pellet Smoker pork. And I'm going to do a start profile, confirm. And now that profile is locked in. And it's starting the first step of the profile. And so come back in 30 minutes and flip the pork butt over. Alright, the first 30 minutes is about up, so I'm going to flip them now. That's our scene after just 30 minutes at 380. Alright, so they're on their fat side up. Close them up in there. Now I'm going to give a quick weather forecast for the day. And our weather forecast is, current conditions are 49 degrees, real feel 55 degrees, humidity 67%, wind is 1 mile per hour, and the forecast for today is a sunny 78 degrees, so it's going to be a nice sunny warm day for this cook. I'll bring you back in 30 minutes to get that foil on top as the temperature starts to drop down for the remainder of the cook. Okay, the second set of 30 minutes is up and the grill's starting to bring the temp down, so I'm going to just hurry up and cover. Alright, I'll just leave that foil on there till the temp stabilizes at 235 and I'll bring you back in. Okay, so the temp went down to 235 and it sent me an alert and came out here to get the foil off, and it looks like the temp has even gone down a little further to like 214. So it's getting itself back to that 235, but just going to take the foil off. Those look nice. So why the foil while it was coming down. I believe that the recipe calls for putting that foil on while the temp's coming down to avoid any sooting or excess soot probably getting on the pork butts, is my speculation as to why they want the foil on top of there while the temp came down. So it sets like this now for 6 hours and cooks at this 235 for 6 hours, and then we'll spritz and wrap it in some foil and such. So I'll bring you back in about 6 hours. Okay, that 6 hours of smoking at 235 is just about up. So I'm about to spritz it real good and then wrap it up, and it'll cook at the 235 until it reaches 195 degrees. I've just stuck the meat probe into the grill. I haven't stuck it in the meat yet, but I'll get into the meat in a moment. These look wonderful. They look really good. I'm impressed the way this recipe looks so far. Alright, I've got them wrapped up. Now I'm going to get the meat probe in one. Nice fatty spot. Alright, I think that's good. So close it up in there like that. Let it set till it reaches that 195. It looks like the meat temp, I'm not sure if the meat temp is accurate yet because it's still calibrating that meat probe, but it looks like it may be. It's over 160 at this point, so we don't have much farther to go to get to 195. Yeah, it's at 161. It seems like it's settled at 161, at 162 now. Yeah, I think it's settling in at 162. So yeah, it's at 162, and it's just got to get up to 195, and it'll be all done. So not much longer now, and it's starting the step where it just rolls until the meat temp is 195, but it's 162 solid. So I'll bring you back when it's ready to just go inside and rest a while. Okay, so in just 10.5 hours, we've reached our target cooking temperature. So I'm going to go ahead and get those wonderful pork butts out of here. I'll basically take these inside and just let them set for an hour to cool. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the grill off now. It's switched to warming mode when things reach the target temp. So now I'm just going to go ahead and hit power to turn the grill off, and it'll go through its full shutdown sequence, and I'll bring you back in an hour and we'll see how that pork butt turned out. Okay, so 10.5 hours on the smoker, 1 hour just chilling. Makes for an 11.5 hour total cooking time, including the resting. So I'm going to go ahead and open one of these pork butts up from the foil, see what we have here. Still nice and hot in there though. That's really cool. Maybe I was supposed to unwrap it, but I wanted it to set and reabsorb those juices. Whoa, come apart on me. Alright, get this excess foil out the way. Just going to turn it over right side up the way it was cooked. Well, butt side, fat side up, butt side up. All right, so looks pretty good. It's coming apart. It's already almost self-shredding. I got myself some of these Cave Tool bear claws. There'll be a referral link in the video description if you want to get yourself a set, but I'm going to use these to shred this pork up real nice. Look at that smoke. Look at that smoke. Look at that smoke. I mean, it's good stuff. Good stuff there. Alright, so a done deal there. Bear claws, these Cave Tool bear claws make it quick work. So with that, just going to bring over my plate here. I'm going to get myself some pieces for another pulled pork sandwich. Pile it up there. I'm going to get a piece of end meat for the taste test and some more of this meat here for the taste test. It'll be good. I'm going to go ahead and get these gloves off and get myself some barbecue sauce and coleslaw on it. So, put some of this barbecue sauce on the sandwich here. This is my G. Hughes maple brown barbecue sauce. Alright. I'm going to get myself a little coleslaw on there. Alright, let me get that camera adjusted, and then we'll do our taste test. Alright, so here's our pulled pork sandwich for the day. So I'm going to taste this end piece first, because running it at that high heat, the start's supposed to caramelize the sugars, give you a nice exterior. And it's pretty good. Let's try some of the other meat inside. Alright, now I'm going to try the sandwich. Alright, so my opinion on using this recipe versus the one that I just used in an earlier video. I will say I do find the injection method and the method that I did in the earlier video makes for a more moist pork butt. The way that I did it the last time, it's a little more moist. I mean, this one's moist too. This one's good too. This one has good smoke too. But the other one, a little more moist in there. And so they're both good recipes. I do prefer my earlier method, but this one's good. This one does caramelize those outside sugars to give a more sweeter taste on the outside, which is kind of cool. But wanted to try one from the cookbook, and it's a good pork butt recipe. You won't be disappointed either way. But those are just my opinions, and I do think that either way you won't go wrong. They're both good. So I hope you like this video. You can support this channel on Patreon. That's patreon.com/dgrill. The website, dgrillsmoke.com. Twitter, @dgrillsmoke. You can also give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. You can share the video with a friend. You can also subscribe to the channel. And good eating.